Hello and welcome, my name is Ansu and today is day 17 of Bookmas. Today I wanted to talk about all of my almost favorites. I have quite a few books I think in my whole read list, but I just wanted to talk about 6 books I felt like were pretty great and I just wanted to talk about those. The first one is Love in English by Maria E. Andu, and I personally really enjoyed this book. This one follows around this character who I believe she was somewhere in South America and then she moved to America and she didn't really know English that much. When she moved, she was really trying to fit in and try to understand the whole new culture that is in New Jersey. She gets quite ridiculed by a lot of people and they keep telling her to leave and go back to her country and all those kind of terrible things, and she has to deal with all of those situations, but at the same time she's living with her mother and her stepfather, I think, and he is like really enforcing that they speak in English at home as well. These people only have spoken in Spanish their entire life and they find it really difficult to kind of communicate with each other right now, and it's just such a heartwarming and heartbreaking story. It has so much love in it. It's really sweet. I just had a good time reading it. I thought it was a very nicely written story, at least for a debut. I thought it was a good book. Next up, One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This was a very close 5 stars, but for me, I was not really enjoying the romance. This really follows around August, I believe, and she is new to New York and she's just getting used to the whole living by herself kind of a situation. She meets this girl on the train called Jane every single day that she travels to her college. She always sees this girl on the train, I think, and every time she sees her, they kind of strike a friendship, and we quickly realize that Jane is not from this era at all, and she is kind of time traveling of sorts. There's a romance between August and her and it's very cute, but in my personal opinion, like, the romance was not the best. Like, I just expected a lot more from Red, White, and Royal Blue and I just wanted it to be more cutesy, which I didn't get, which is kind of unfortunate, and maybe it's just on me for putting my expectations way too high. But it's a really adorable book nonetheless. The next book I want to talk about is The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis, I believe the author's name is. I just thought this book was super brutal. There was just a lot of like ripping off people's hands, ears I think. It was just very gross. It is such a great story about like sexual assault and everything that's like really involved in here. So good. I think it's like a must read for sure. I thought it was a really brilliantly done story, just had so much to offer, and yeah, overall it's just such a good book. I would highly recommend you guys to pick this one up. Super good. You will feel things and you'll just feel like puking for the most part because it's like a little too much. The next one I want to talk about is Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz, and this one was a really good book. I had a good time reading about like the past of this book. Essentially, we have this lady named Susan who she was like an agent or an editor or something, and she was like reading this manuscript that she got from this really famous author who writes like these detective novels, and we come to an understanding that this is his last novel. It just seems like the story is not completed, so we're following around a lot of things that are happening in this fictional world in like back in the day, and then Susan by the end of it is just like, hey, this manuscript is not complete, let me find what happened in the rest of the book, and she goes ahead, tries to find out the rest of the manuscript, she finds it, and things go from there. There is more to it like towards the end, and I don't know, like the story that truly happened versus the story in the manuscript were very similar, that I just didn't really see the difference between both those things at all, and it was just really, it was a little unfortunate. That's the only reason like it docked a star, but it was a really solid book, and especially that past like in the manuscript part was really good. I just really enjoyed that part. The next one I want to talk about is The Husbands by Chandler Baker. This is the first book I read by Chandler Baker and it was very promising, to be honest. It has like a weird thriller aspect to it, like it's almost like a manipulative thriller. It was really interesting. I've never seen anything like that. We have this main character who is pregnant and she also has another kid, and she feels like her husband doesn't really do much around the house, doesn't really help out in any way, and each time she asks him to do something, he's just like very defensive. It's like, I do everything and you never like pay attention to it, blah blah blah. And she gets really upset about it, and one day they decide like they need to get like a bigger house, right? And they think about this large community, and I believe she's also a lawyer, by the way, that's kind of important. They go for this like really large secluded neighborhood, and every woman living in that area are really educated. There's like a psychologist, and I forgot the others. I think there's a doctor and some other like occupation, like a writer. There was just really successful women. And the husbands seem so nice, like they're ridiculously nice. They do everything for the wives, and they're just like super loving, and it just seems too good to be true, almost creepy. So we're not really sure what's going on, and we're trying to figure out everything from there. I just thought that it was just too unbelievable to be true, but other than that, it was just such a solid book. It was super creepy. Like, I never really expected or anticipated it to go in that way, but I had such a good time reading it. I thought it was a really fun book. I would highly recommend you guys pick it up because it was super creepy, but it was just an interesting take, and I had a good time reading it. But yeah, it was still a 4 stars-ish. It was a good book, not my favorite, but it was still a really good book. Alright, you guys, those were the 5 books that I wanted to talk about. These were some of my almost favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I had a good time like compiling this list, so definitely let me know what are some books that you were looking forward to and quite enjoyed. I just kind of missed the mark because I would really love to know. There's some amazing books out there that people give like 4 stars, but they're just really good even still, and I wanted to share some of those with you guys. You'll hopefully find something in this list that is kind of intriguing to you and you'll check it out. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Ansu. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified every single time I upload a new video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all next time with another one. Until then, I'll talk to you all in the comments. Bye!